Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. I know, finally, again, I've talked about it before. When everyone asks for this and that and all these other series, I might not be able to upload something as consistently as I want. But regardless, we are back again. In this episode, we truly get things started. Our first season with the Maine Mariners, our inaugural season, of course, will begin. Now, obviously, there are a couple of things that have changed. I'm running dark mode for this episode. I think I like it. I think people are going to like it a little bit more. Let me know what you think, though. I know that the normal default skin for this game can be blindingly white, which was my nickname in high school, and still to this day. Face Gen is also on, not only for my little avatar there, but for whatever player you click on, so as opposed to it just being a random image. Also, another thing to note before I forget, I did go through and fix Bryson Martin's contract. It was way too much. So we dropped it down to 11K like we had with the majority of the other players. Which, yes, you are allowed to do that, so that's pretty straightforward. And on the idea of this being the road to glory, which basically would be we start in the ECHL. If we win, we go up to the AHL. I still think it might be more interesting to start off in junior, maybe go overseas, then go like ECHL, AHL. I'm not sure. I'll leave it up to you. I guess it depends on how soon we win and whether or not any interesting offers are available. But this could very well turn into the actual road to glory itself. That said, as far as the team is concerned, I think we're good to go for the moment. The big thing to remember here is that we actually do... Whoops, that is not where I wanted to go. I'm still trying to refamiliarize myself with this. We have a lovely 164K now after fixing Bryson Martin's contract. We have plenty of space to work with. But I think I kind of want to wait to see how the squad does now before we are tempted to bring in a lot of players, which, of course, we do have the ability to do. I'd say the main thing to look at here, first and foremost, of course, would be the free agent center. Now, again, someone like Rick Nash, that's not going to happen. And technically, we're in the negative for salary cap space. So while we have money for free agents, the salary cap is a whole different story. So for now, I'm thinking we leave the roster the same. Now, a big part of the reason as to why the cap is going to be a little bit rough, you could argue we have too many people. Now, as far as our defense is concerned, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I think the roster's actually fairly well balanced. We have 27 players in total. There's not really a ton we can do. And again, we are at the mercy right now of the New York Rangers as far as whether or not they look to call anybody up. I have to remember how to turn off that little preview. I like it on occasion, but not often. It's a little bit weird. So as far as the team is concerned here, actually, let's take a look. Let's take a look at our tactics first and foremost. And it's, how do we, I'm all right with balanced play, I think. But as far as how we're going to make this happen, I think we might just leave most of this relatively the same to start. I mean, I know I have my preferred way of setting this up, but I need to get a read for just how talented this squad is going to prove to be. So let's for the most part keep it simple. Breakout's fine. The neutral zone offense, let's just go balanced. We'll try to keep it as balanced as we possibly can. In the offensive zone, the cycle works. For now, forecheck. Let's, yeah, the 1, 2. We're pretty much good. I gotta be honest. We are pretty much good to go. Just keeping a nice, balanced approach as far as how the lines are going to set up. If we have the assistant go for this, what's it looking like? So Ryan Gropp, Greg Chase, I believe, and Ty Ronning on the top line. Not running a fourth line, which is kind of weird, but I'm okay with it unless we're in the preseason, which we may or may not be. Let's take a look. Can I not? I'm trying to remember. Okay, so our first game is, when is our first game here? So I'm trying to scroll through. Again, trying to get to refamiliarize. We are in the preseason. Cool. See? Again, I gotta relearn some of this stuff, man. It's been far too long. So let's continue onward, and we'll see what happens. Right. We do have quite a few emails. Let's take a look. What we got? Derek Nesbitt attends a leadership seminar. What a guy. What a guy. Jim Mills, the Solar Bears, a couple of other teams changing up. Ron Hextall is the new GM of the Wheeling Nailers. How the mighty have fallen for poor Ron Hextall. From Flyers GM to the Wheeling Nailers. That is a harsh drop-off, as we are still awaiting our first game. You know what? Let's go ahead and autoplay until the next game, unless we get a relatively important email. Like I said, there were a couple of players I wanted to take a look at, but just knowing that the salary cap is a little bit tight right now, there's not a ton of spin we can put on this team immediately, which is fine by me. I'm not the type of person who likes to play a franchise mode or something like this, where we just immediately sign 15,000 players, as Sean Day has been called up. I do wonder if that's just for the preseason or not. And we end up with Rob O'Gara. Wow, I didn't expect that. Former Boston Bruin, Rob O'Gara. Welcome. I don't know if you'll still be here. I'm not going to plan on you being here. We'll see what happens, as I know Sean Day has been called up. That's fine. And actually, this is our roster at this point. A lot less people. Now, the team salary cap is $342, and right now we're at a $206. I'm a little bit afraid to do anything. We need to fill out a roster, but I'm guessing, actually, no, that's not even true. A lot of players that had rights with the Rangers aren't here. There has to be a lot of guys that ended up getting training camp offers, I'm guessing, with AHL teams. So we're going to, again, we'll hang on for now. We're not going to commit to spending a ton of money. Let's see what the Rangers do in their training camp. I'm sure we'll get some players from the Hartford Wolfpack as well, and we'll take it from there. Now, I am very, very intrigued. Number one, what the loading time is going to be with us having every other league available, which was probably not the right idea. Probably not. Actually, this is taking a little bit. Probably not the right idea, but if we do turn this into the road to glory, then it makes a little bit more sense. We'll see what happens here and why this would have taken so long to load. This computer should be fine with it. But if there are a lot of emails, a lot of roster moves, again, with it being preseason, I guess it's kind of expected, right? And actually, we're simming multiple days. So cool. I'll see you in a minute. I'm going to jump cut this. All right, so it turns out that it was the right call to just go ahead and sim to the final day of the preseason, because there was a lot that the AI did with this roster in terms of players being called up, getting AHL offers. So right now, the team is a little bit barren. Maybe I should have tried to make moves a little bit sooner, but let's see if we can bring anybody in. Our team salary is at $205K. The salary cap is going to go down to $311. It's actually not $342. So it's going to be relatively interesting to see what we can do here. It shows the salary caps. Yeah, it's gonna drop anyway. So let's see if we can find ourselves a couple of players just to be safe. First and foremost, we are going to look for a goaltender, at least to make sure that we have 2 goaltenders under a roster. And of course, I need to take that one away. But let's see who we can find. Either someone whose career we try to revitalize, or just the youngest player available. Matt Hackett. Good old Matt Hackett. I can't see Matt Hackett without thinking about the time I saw him break his leg in a Bruins Sabres game way back in the day. Looking for $37K. Probably a tad bit out of our price range, but in terms of 2-star players, is that Parker Gahagen? It is. It is a decent example of someone who doesn't always make the jump, but, and in terms of from NCAA to whatever else, but this could work. Now, money remaining right now, let's take a look here. It's showing our cap hit at $652. And I know why. It's because they sent people down, right? Maybe? What is up with okay, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and sim a day, right? Let's go ahead and sim a day in advance, and we'll see what comes up as of opening night, because admittedly, I've never used the ECHL here, so I'm trying to avoid making dumb mistakes, in which case we might actually make dumb mistakes. But our first game of the season is against the Adirondack Thunder. Of course, a game I went to in person. Fond memories. They lost, but that's okay. As far as what we're going to do here, though, So I don't believe anything's changed with the roster. It hasn't. The cap is at 311. Our salary is still showing up at 205. So we should be okay. Available money for free agents is looking good. We should be okay to make this happen. I'm honestly afraid that I'm not going to be able to ice a full team on opening night. We shall see. I mean, you can see the AI has been quite busy as of late, so we're not even going to get the top players available. But it looks fine now. Active roster. Okay, all of that's set. So maybe I just had to wait for the start of the regular season. So Parker Gahagan. Parker Gahagan. I'm going to meet your demands. I'm not going to rush into a decision. He wants 11K. He'd be a backup goalie, which I agree with. Hopefully, again, team financial info is fine. Your response to this? Sweet. Let's go ahead and sign Parker Gahagan. And again, he would be our second goaltender officially on our roster. Actually, he just outright signed. Alongside Hannu Toivonen. Of course, right now we also have Colin Stevens, who is under an AHL deal with the Hartford Wolfpack. So at the very least, no matter what, we have two goalies signed. It's going to be Gahagan and Hannu Toivonen this year. So if somebody gets sent down, we'll use them. But very intrigued to see how that works out for us with Hannu Toivonen as our goaltender this year. Defensively, we do have Rob O'Gara on roster right now, as well as John Gilmore. So those are two major additions to the defense. But as far as who we actually have signed, we have Scotty Savage, we have Bryson Martin, who does have Sabres rights, but he's not currently signed, and Adam Plant. So I'd like to bring in two other left defensemen to try and have this sorted out. I haven't figured out the shortcuts over here yet. To be honest, I don't know, I'm more used to just clicking the extra button. So let's see if we can find two other left defensemen just to make sure we have, depth on roster and that we're okay in case call-ups and send-downs go down. So I doubt 3-star is going to work out for us. I mean, we had randomly explored earlier, but yeah, someone like Mark Stewart's not interested. So 2.5-star. Who do we have here? Noah Welch, Brian Salcido? Brian Salcido's still in here. Is he interested? 38K. That's going to be a little bit too much. It's going to be a little bit too much. I mean, we have quite a bit of money, but I'm wanting to spread the wealth a little bit here rather than just going for the big-time signings. So 2-star. 2-star. Cole Jarrett, Todd Perry, Brady Austin. Is that Shane O'Brien? Oh my god, it is. That's amazing. Who else do we have for 2-star guys here? Any other overly familiar names? It's not really looking like it. How far down? Jesus, how many 2-stars do we got here? How many 2-stars do we have here? There's just a lot of people. Kevin Quick is there. I think we're going to go back up to the top. Shane O'Brien, NHL veteran, 35 years old at this point. Played last year in Austria. Are you interested? I mean, I kind of know what type of player Shane O'Brien is at this point. Fog of War is on, by the way. I don't know if it should be. That's a debatable point. Even Shane O'Brien's looking for a lot of money. That's unfortunate, but it could be the type of veteran presence we need. I'm thinking I want to hold off on the big time deals, so we're going to drop that down to a 2, and that way it's just sorted out by the players we have here. So Brady Austin, why not? 36. Wow, everyone's looking to get paid, which I get totally, but still. What about some of the younger guys here? There we go. Who can we... Well, in fairness, those are... Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened here? Let's bump that back up. Thank you. Only looking for 2-stars. Let's look for some younger players. Now, in fairness, we are at 21 out of 23 contracts, but of course it's kind of affected by what we're doing, so maybe a left defenseman isn't the way to go. Let's see what else we have here. I mean, a right defenseman or two would work. This is that X factor that I'm very much looking forward to, is that we're at the mercy of both the Rangers and the Hartford Wolfpack. So, I mean, we have what? 1, 2, 3... I mean, we have 3 defensemen that belong to us. And for forwards, we have Chase, Dwyer Shantz, and Morgan Adams Moisan. That's it. It is going to be so tough to build a team and so different than what we're used to. Let's bring in, I guess, 1 defenseman and a couple of forwards and we'll just have them be the best that they can possibly... Well, actually, one forward and one defenseman. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. So screw it. Plans have changed. Let's bring in the biggest money player that we can to try and boost up this team. Jamie McBain. There's no way he's going to be interested. Yeah, exactly. I don't think any 3-star guys will be interested either. James Wisniewski, maybe? James, what do you say? Hey, that could work. I'm a little bit worried about his injury tendency, which you can't see here, which is fine. It's funny that he dislikes the team. You know, James, I'm gonna meet that demand. 40K for 1 year. I'm okay with this. Let's bring James Wisniewski to Portland. Works for me. We at least have a familiar name on roster, and of course that spends a little bit of the money. We have 55K left. Who could we possibly bring in? I don't think any 3-star guys would be down. Danny Paille's career is basically over. Bill Sweat. Any other interesting 3-star players here? Lupul, Freddie Hamilton? Freddie Hamilton, Max Reinhart. There's a lot of 3-star guys, actually. Freddie Hamilton or Max Reinhart? Let's go for Max Reinhart. Max Reinhart, the best Reinhart. He is not interested. That's unfortunate. And we'll scroll back down. What about... Where did he go? Where was he? He disappeared. He just disappeared. I don't know who to bring in. Who's it going to be? Tim Kennedy? Former Portland Pirate Tim Kennedy? Oh, that's... I believe he played for the Portland Pirates. He was at least in the Buffalo system. Corey Conacher? I will... Yes, if he's interested. Ah, Corey, what are you doing? You're making it so difficult. There's got to be somebody. There's got to be one player that we can bring in, like a Teddy Purcell, to just light this league up because he's way too good, but nobody's interested. Why not? Maine's a great place. Be a hero here. Zach Hamill, who never made it for the Bruins. How? You have some nerve, sir. You have some nerve rejecting an ECHL offer. There's got to be someone. Hakeem Aliu, Pavel Brendel. I'm almost looking for the most hilarious names. Tim Stapleton, there's no way he jumps over, right? Tim, I know you're near the end of your career at this point. Oh my God. I can't believe nobody's interested in signing. Let's drop that down to 3.5, which I think is where, well, actually it needs to be below a 3.5. Let's drop it down to a 2.5. We need somebody. Anybody. I'm looking for the most interesting names out of the group. There's a lot of 2.5s. Livingston, Andre DeVoe, Derek Army, Steve Zalewski, good old Himmelfarb. Is Josh Hennessy interested? Former Providence Bruin. Hell, oh my God. All right, well, that's a little bit out of our price range then, isn't it? Let's just go ahead and drop that down to a 2. Just drop that down to a 2. That'll be okay. Everything will be fine. So out of the 2-star players, is there anybody interesting? Looking at the names. Schoofs! Renee Schoofs? Sir, would you like to come to Portland? Okay, Renee, right now, you're my favorite. Because your name is Schoofs. But I'm going to keep looking. David Clarkson. I wish. Pascal Pelletier is not a bad one. Van de Gelder, Camille Krebs, former Florida Panthers, great. Mark Angelidis. Shoops might be the best way to go. Unless there's one name. Jake Dowell. I think Jake Dowell might be the name. Jake Dowell is the man. Is there anybody else? Is that Jimmy Hayes? It's Jeff Hayes. I was so hoping it was Jimmy Hayes. That would have been amazing. I think we have... It's either Shoops or Jake Dowell at this point. There's a lot of players on this list, too. And there's no guarantees that they'll be... Oh, PL3. All right, PL3's on the list, too. He has to be. Is there anybody else? There's a South Korean? Are you kidding me? And someone from Wales. Yes, I would love a South Korean Wonder Star. Yes, please. He's 27. Yes, you are. Sorry. I love me some Jake Dowell. and some PL3, but this is clearly the right way to go. And this roster is filled out for the most part. Now again, it's not completely ideal, right? It's not the best case scenario, but I think we'll be okay. So as far as who is on this roster, I'm going to take a look here. Unfortunately, the real world captain's not available. Right now it's Savage, Alex Kyle, and Bryson Martin. Which, Alex, I'm sorry to do this to you. I think we're going to take that letter away from you. I'm going to give it to James Wisniewski, the veteran. James Wisniewski. I'm not going to give Gilmore or O'Gara letters because odds are they're not going to be around. Dawson Lidl as well. I love him and his name, but that's not going to happen. I think we'll stay with Savage and Bryson Martin. Works for me. So the lineup is shaping up to be, if we even have enough people to ice a team. Thank God we do. It's going to be Lidl, Nieves, and Shantz. The fourth line, excuse me, still looking a little bit empty. Melanson Chase, it's not bad. And our South Korean is on the third line center spot with Alex Kyle. Cool. Can we get to our first game against Adirondack and hopefully reverse our fortunes and win our first game as a team, unlike what happened in real life. But again, we don't have to talk about that. Winning isn't everything. I have no idea how this team's going to do. We have already changed so much just from when we started this episode with what's happened, as we're going to have to assign certain numbers. See what we can do here. It's Wisniewski and our new favorite South Korean, whose name I'm totally going to butcher if I ever try. I'm going to call him Jin. Sound good? You get to be number 88, Jin. How does that sound? We are playing Adirondack. I'm not sure how we're going to do, because it feels like we're missing players on this team. We're not, technically, but it kind of feels like we're missing players. O'Gara and Gilmore, though, is the top pairing. I'm fairly excited for it. Let's just go ahead and sim it, as opposed to quote-unquote playing it, and we'll see what happens. It is a 4-1 win. I wish that's what happened in real life, but I will take it. Dawson Lidl, 3.9 with a goal and 2 assists. 2 assists for Wisniewski, and a 2-point game for Scott Savage. Good stuff. Good stuff. 21 saves for Hannu Toivonen. We lit their goalie up. Great performance all around for the team to kick things off again. 47 shots to 22. I wish our abbreviation was just ME. I can change that, can I? I'm pretty sure I can. Let me take a look. I'm going to turn on commissioner mode for a second, see if I can update that, because the my is just not doing it for me. But look at that beautiful 4-1 win. 1 win down, a lot to go. A lot to go. So let's travel over here to the fine world of options. I'm going to turn on commissioner mode to the Mariners. I'm going to go to team data. Can I change? I can't change the abbreviation. Are you sure? Please. It would be so much better if I could. Please? Damn it. I was hoping I'd be able to change that, but apparently not, unless I'm just completely missing the option to do so. Although, under edit, yes, there it is. There it is. That is better. That is better. I'm not going to change anything else. Just let me change that abbreviation, and we'll go. I had a feeling I was in the wrong spot. I'm like, wait a minute, I know I can edit this. We go back to manager, we go back to options, bam, commissioner mode's off, and I'm no longer able to do that. But our abbreviation is fixed, thank God. So, emails, nothing all that important. And we will go ahead and sim to our next game. Now, depending on how long this takes, admittedly, I am a little bit concerned because this seems to be simming a tad bit slower than I was hoping. It's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. And actually, you know what? Never mind. It's doing better now that it's not in the preseason. The preseason, there's just a lot to load that even my computer is struggling a little bit, which my old computer, this wouldn't even have been possible. It would have taken a solid 10 minutes in between days. So this wouldn't have been possible. It's a nice little change of pace that we can actually do this now. And I guess, yeah, it was just in the preseason where it was going a little bit slow, but that's only because of the amount of information that was needed to make those moves. So we go into our second game of the season. We're playing Reading, and tomorrow we play Worcester, and we'll see what happens there. So, let's go for a nice little lineup change, because actually I need to go to tactics, and I need to go, again, I love the customization. There's just so much you can do. I was wanting to double check if they still had the same goalie setup, and they do. There it is. So goalie starts. We are going to go with alternate goalies back-to-back games for sure. Start a goalie again after a shutout. Not as important as that. Start the best goalie. Backup start frequency is going to be a 3. That looks good. That looks good. That's all I wanted to change, so that way I don't have to make the changes on my own. We will be playing the Reading Royals, which, I mean, they got a couple of names familiar to me. I'd like to think we can get the win, though. Who's in goal for them right now? Calvin Booth. Mark Dukanich is the backup. Cool. This will hopefully be another win. Colin Stevens between the pipes for us. Let's go ahead and sim this and see what we can do. It is a 4-3 win, and we are 2-0. Wisniewski, the winning goal. Look at that abbreviation. Isn't that much better? It's much better. But 3 stars of the game. Adams Moisan, 2 goals and an assist. Wisniewski with another goal as well. He's looking to have been a pretty damn good pickup. And overall, 34 shots to 24. We're 2-0 on the season. Everything's coming up Melhouse. Slow and steady, right? Slow and steady. I am a little bit panicked over what we could potentially do in terms of updating this roster, and I'm very concerned about what happens if the Rangers come a knocking and take away one of our better players. This might not last. It's going to be a very up and down season for us, I'm sure. As again, wow, so yeah, we play Worcester and then Newfoundland tomorrow. The Newfoundland. The Newfoundland. Good old Newfoundland. So let's take a look here. Roster's still the same. We're still good. Ish. Did we send down? What happened to old Parker Gahagan? If I go, yeah, set up organization, it might have sent him down, which is cool. Look at the Monarchs. Their colors don't match, but that's okay. The problem right now is in terms of, I forget where the option is. I forget where the option is to look at our technically minor league team, even though they're not. I forget where to look for that, but there we go. So Gahagan is there. He's just scratched, and Connor LeCouvy also appears to be here. So let's take a look here at what this roster is. So right now, the only goalie we have under contract, I actually should have double-checked this before I signed Gahagan, but that's okay. The only goalie we have under contract right now that is actually playing is Hannu Toivonen, which is fine. So technically, I wouldn't mind dealing Connor LeCouvy. I know obviously he's doing well in real life with the Laval Rocket, but I wouldn't mind potentially dealing him just to get something for him. So we'll place him on the trade block for now, rather than outright shopping him. Although, what can we get if we shop him? We have the option to do that a couple of times. Let's see what we could get for Connor LeCouvy. It would be Zach Camras from the Florida Everblades, or Jefferson Dahl from the Idaho Steelheads. Dahl is 2.5 star, Camras also 2.5 stars. So it would be an equal return for a defenseman, which is a decent enough offer. Let's see though. And in terms of what we need, we're still looking okay. There's quite a bit we could look to change. But for the most part, I'm feeling alright about this, but I can't help but think maybe shop some other people out, bring in some other higher rated free agents for the year. And I imagine year on year we're going to have quite a bit of roster turnover. Oh boy. Deal LeCouvy. Bring in... Was Camras a right defenseman? I wanted to go to my email there. Camras is just outright a defenseman. Does he prefer to play the right side? He prefers to play the left side. But that could give us a little bit of maneuverability. We don't have ratings for him at the moment. I don't know. Let me know what you think, whether or not Fog of War should be on. I'm gonna, or should be on. I just said that totally weird. But still, we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna go back over and double check. I mean, at the very least, it's the ECHL, so I just want to see. I mean, obviously not great, but could work. I mean, more of a stay-at-home defenseman. Actually, in fairness, he could work as a two-way as well. You know what? We have options. Let's stay for now. We'll play the Worcester Railers, and we'll see what happens. Hunter Toivonen against Jeremy Smith. This is going to be close, I'd imagine. Or not. We can win it 6-2. That works, too. We're 3-0 on the year. 2 goals in every single period. Chance Lidl and Bryson Martin leading the way. 36 shots to 17. And the Maine Mariners are rolling to begin their first season here. It's beautiful. I'm just trying to figure out how crazy I want to be with the roster moves, because we could go a little bit crazy, but for now, things are looking good. Very, very good indeed. As nothing overly important there aside from the shopped offers, which for now we will reject those. We're not going to worry about it all that much. So we have one more game here. Let's do it against the Newfoundland. And we'll see what we can do. Colin Stevens against Casimir Kaskiswo. Let's sim this game as well. And we are 4-0 to begin this season off the back of a 5-2 win against the Growlers. Beautiful. 40 shots to 26. And we are rolling right now to kick things off. Now, of course, the question will be, how much progress do we look to make in each episode? And I'm going to aim to have it be NHL-like. Probably after this episode, we'll have it be NHL-like, where we look to go from, beginning of the season to the deadline, see how things are rolling. But for now, I want to take that slow and steady approach to kick things off. And I have no complaints whatsoever about how we're doing right now, especially, slow and steady as I try to remember what the hell I'm doing on this game. It has been oh so long. But really, the only question is just whether or not we look to move a lot of these guys out that we don't currently have on roster. But it's not the worst case scenario to have 3 goalies under contract, just in case of injuries and just in case the Rangers or Wolfpack leave me high and dry on the players we have on roster. So I'm a little bit worried about the lack of true center depth that we have. So it might not be the worst idea. We have Stork, Michael McNicholas. Is Stork on roster right now? He was there, wasn't he? He's not. Stork, what's going on, buddy? I'm a little bit surprised he's not on roster with him being a natural center. Yeah. Oh boy, same thing. We'll keep the roster the same for now. I'm going to sim at the very least through the rest of the month. I'll see you guys then. I'm actually not sure if we have any games up and coming, but we'll find out very soon. So rather than stopping on November 1st, I wanted to give you guys more progress to talk about. We're at 9-4-1, 19 points as of November 21st, and we did just get a trade offer from the Jacksonville Icemen that we're actually going to probably take. Connor LeCouvy down. You can see there the 2018-19 season has been struggling in essentially the junior league, the semi-professional league, whereas Everett Clark, on the other hand, has been doing very, very well, and we could use an extra center. So we are actually going to take that deal. Sucks to do, but that is the way it is. I think this episode, it's still going to be more along the lines of how exactly I want to format this, right? In terms of how much progress do we look to make? Do we do the, hey, I'll see you in a month and talk about what's happened over the past month? There's still a lot of things I need to sort out with the formula of making these episodes, and we'll get that down as we go along, as right now we are currently in 3rd place in our division. But, I mean, we have 2 games at hand on Worcester and 4 games at hand on the Growlers, and that does kind of go along with what this is. Of course, the ECHL, there's a lot more time and space in between games. Now, unfortunately, I can't give you like a full calendar view, but there's a lot of time in between games. You could go to the real ECHL website, look at a schedule for a team, and, that's why they often do go a week or so without playing, and then, hey, we're going to play on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, have fun. So it's going to be interesting to try and sort this out, but we do have a trade done and dusted already. And of course, we have been doing relatively well. Not to mention, we still have quite a bit of cap space. We could look to improve this team and make a very strong run. But our luck could run out the second the Rangers decide to make roster moves with Gilmore, O'Gara, Nieves, and Dawson Lidl. So it's really tough because we are on that fine line of our success depending on teams that we cannot influence. But as far as how the squad's done this year, Dawson Lidl is actually leading the team in points, 19 points in 14 games. Gilmore with 15 points as a defenseman, and Nieves with 15 points. Again, our success really does depend upon the Rangers players that we have. Although, our South Korean edition has 12 points in 14 games, Wisniewski with 10 and 14 as a defenseman. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. I think in the next episode, I'm probably going to end it here, keep it a little bit short. Maybe we'll sim actually to the beginning of next month. But I think the next episode, we look to make a lot of progress. We start doing the month-by-month updates, or should we just stay live with all of it? It's really weird because, much like with NHL, there's not really a ton to talk about. It does just come down to simming, seeing how everything goes, and adjusting from there. But, you know, I'm not going to say it's the most exciting thing in the world to be like, hey, okay, let me talk and fill time while we wait for this to sim, you know? So, as we end up getting Brandon Crawley, he was sent down, and we have another new addition to the defense, which is pretty nice. And again, I say, you know, hey, it can be a detriment that we can lose a player out of nowhere. We can also gain a player out of nowhere, which is a lovely touch. It's going to be so weird to be using an ECHL team. Excuse me, by the way. I'm sorry. So, as far as the team is concerned, what are we looking like right now? I trust the assistant to set everything up. So, it's Lidl, Nieves, and Oulé Saint-Amant. Very French. How very French. So, defense right now, Crawley's immediately on the second pairing with James Wisniewski. So, I'll leave it up to you guys. Number one, what I want to know, how much progress do we look to make? And how crazy do we go right out of the gates with trying to improve this team? Do we do everything we can to try and win as soon as possible? And your thoughts as to whether or not this should be the road to glory for this year. Do we just start off in Maine and then progress from there if we have the ability to do so? I don't want to leave this team until we find success, so who knows how long that could take. And maybe, of course, that changes the plans if it takes us a little bit longer than expected. But we're off to a hot start this year. The team itself is looking solid. It was pretty nice to be able to bring in someone like James Wisniewski as we lose 4-3 to Manchester, unfortunately. But it's such an interesting twist, and I love it. And I wish we could have this experience in a certain other game, but we don't. We have it in this game, and that's good enough for me. I'm intrigued to see how this season goes down for us. There's really nothing else, again, to talk about here. We're good to go. It's November 26th. Do we have any other games coming up this year? We play on the 28th and the 30th. Okay, so we got 2 more games this month. Let's go ahead and get through those games, and we'll call it an episode from there, hopefully. Sound good? Maybe, as Alex Kyle ends up going down to injury. I don't think we will immediately know how long he'll be out for. Let's take a look. Kyle is day-to-day. Okay, so that's not all that bad. We play Reading tomorrow. We'll see if we can get the win. So again, we were 7-0 in the opening month, and we've now dropped. I mean, we're 2-5-1 throughout the month of November. Nothing really changed with the roster either. We're down to 9th in the Eastern Conference. Let's see what we can do here against the Reading Royals, who we have already beaten once before this season. It's going to be Callum Booth against Hannu Toivonen. That save percentage, not exactly amazing. But let's sim this game and see what we can do. That is a 5-3 win with Jin Hui there. The first star of the game. 2 points. Not bad. 37 shots to 31. Fairly close game. A strong effort from one Hannu Toivonen. And that leaves us with one more game here in November. I believe it was on the 30th. Might have been. Don't quote me on that. Easy enough to forget. And it is. We'll be playing Worcester. What better way to end an episode as we have Frederick Claesson on roster. Wait a minute. What? The Rangers dropped Freddie Claesson. Oh my God. Well, if we don't beat Worcester now, we have Frederick Clayson on our roster as they called up Crawley, but left us with Clayson. That is amazing. That is amazing. The Rangers are doing us quite a few favors here early on in this season. I like it. I like it a lot. So Clayson will be on the top pairing with John Gilmore, O'Gara, Wisniewski, Martin, and Plant. That is a strong way, as you see our current depth chart right now. Which again, you can see the lighter shade of green symbolizing the players who do not currently belong to us. And then again, we have some of our guys there down in the minors. Quite a few of them are down in the semi-pro league at the moment. But let's get to this final game. I'm excited to see what you guys have to think as far as any suggestions of how to handle this in the next episode. Like I said, we really get into it. I want to win as soon as possible. You guys know that. You know how I handle these games. I want to win, damn it. Hannu Toivonen against Jeremy Smith. Can we beat the Worcester Railers? We cannot. That is a 3-1 loss. As Kyle Burrows, defenseman there for the Railers, formerly of the Islanders organization, gets the first star of the game honors. It was a close game, but they end up getting the job done. We were down 3-0. It ends up being a 3-1 final. And we do actually end up playing Manchester. It's 3 straight games. It is a Friday, so yeah, I imagine we have 2 more games here. Maybe we'll do those too. Screw it. The episode just refuses to end. That's fine. Again, we do everything kind of long form here. So we'll play this game against Manchester, and then I'm sure we play somebody on the Sunday as well. It's got to be someone within the local region. Might be Newfoundland again. The Newfoundland. And we shall see. It's Worcester again. All right, cool. So let's play this game against Manchester, although we do get a development report. Anything too crazy? Not really. Pratt gets better at fighting. That's not really going to help us. And Breton ends up losing a little bit of acceleration, but that's nothing too detrimental. Against the Manchester Monarchs here, Colin Stevens against Cole Keller. Freddie Clayson listed as our star player, his second game. He did score a goal. He scored the only goal that we had in the last game. And Matt Marcineau of the Monarchs has a 10-game point streak. That is ridiculous. Let's see what we can do. Sim the game. That is a 5-1 loss. We get absolutely thrashed. And the early optimism has dropped off just a little bit. We've been outscored 8-2 over the course of the first 2 games of this weekend. Can we at least end this on a positive note against Worcester? If we don't, can't help but think that might be the popular vote to make a ton of changes to this roster, or at least wheel and deal as much as we can. Of course, the draft isn't a factor, so wheeling and dealing is really our only way to get this over and done with. We do have an injury, I noticed, or not. Board confidence. Yeah, we went 3-7-1. Of course, we have it so we can't be fired, which is pretty nice. But let's take a look here. It said that we had an injury. Is it still just Alex Kyle? I'd imagine it is. Let's go back over to the Lions here. Let's just make sure that we are good to go. Scotty Savage is going to be in on defense. And let's play the final game of this episode against the Worcester Railers. Hannu Toivonen between the pipes against Jeremy Smith yet again. Let's see what we can do. As it is pretty cool, it tells you guys who are close to milestones as well. Let's sim it. That is a 5-4 loss. And any and all optimism we had at the start of this season is out the door. From 7-0 to 3-8-1 in the next month, and a little bit more than that. Pretty damn brutal. But guys, that will do it for this one. Again, give it a little bit of time to sort out the format of this, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Next episode, we'll make a lot more progress and continue to see how our first season goes. And there might even be some wheeling and dealing, some signings and trades to see what we can do. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.